Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the May 20th meeting?
I'll make that motion. Aye.
Claims 1 through 102 in the amount of $170,418.05. And published claims and the payroll claims.
I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Did you get them, Aaron? Did you get the?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so you're, that's like I need to review them. Okay,
I've been doing a lot of reading.
okay, good, good.
I don't know if we, is there any department heads here that have something?
I'm just here in case you have any questions about those.
Okay, you want me to jump down there to do?
It's not necessary. Whatever you want to do.
Okay,
I mean, I think they're fine. They're kind of fun.
okay. When we received back the interlocal agreement with Warren County that we voted on May 6th to approve. Tim, did you have anything you want to say about that or?
No.
Okay.
Do we need to sign it?
That one, just- I'll move on to the additional request received as clause and clause. Evidently, did we just not budget that?
No, because their contract came in after the first year and they already had a budget set. And same with computer maintenance, contract was after the budget was set. We got it before the beginning of the year, but it was after the set.
Aaron signed.
So can I get a motion
Oh, yeah, this
to
is
approve the
payroll.
additional requests and then they'll get sent on to the council for final approval? The 9,000 calls and calls, 12,000 for computer maintenance.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
County General, the election board, the contractual services, $22,000. And obviously it's in the agenda, the shortfalls due to software licensing and support fees. And Patty's here for if there's any questions. If you have any questions, or you okay?
I don't have any questions.
Can I get a motion? Feel free.
Jump in there, Aaron.
I'll motion.
Okay, thank you.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, looks like we're still having some issues with our lift. I know it's, ever since it's been in, there's been issues with it that I, yes,
You know, on the new courthouse drawings, that's, don't even have it.
This is
Oh, nice.
remedy the stipulations supposedly according to the agreement.
How many years have we heard
I
that?
know, I know. Well, this is something different, I guess.
Okay. Well, we don't have a choice right now.
gotta have
I'll make a motion to
I'll
do the
second.
contract.
all those in favor.
Aye.
Hopefully that does fix it.
I'm giving you the signature on that.
You cannot be ADA. Not on the compliance.
Fountain County Building Board, this is their annual information that they have to do for the disclosure compliance, and this is for the year 2023. I need a motion to approve that.
I'll motion approved.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, at this time, we have a proposed text for from the advisory plan commission. I am going to recuse myself from voting since it's a conflict of interest. So I will leave the meeting. Tim, if I can get you to take over this portion.
Okay. So. Where we're at, planning commission, and you're familiar with it all, right, Aaron? Okay,
If you mind speaking up, it's
Okay.
really hard to hear back here.
okay, I just asked Aaron if he was up to par with what's going on, and he is. With the plan commission has recommended that we do this moratorium. And we will vote on it. No matter how I vote on this, I still feel there are landowner rights. And I'm not caving to those landowner rights. It's my belief that the state will take this over fairly soon. They tried to a couple years ago. And they backed off because 62 counties came up against them and said, you know, hey, let us handle our own people, our own ways. Just my opinion, worth nothing, but they're eventually going to take it over. So, Aaron, if you'd like to make a motion either to approve or.
I will motion to approve it, yes.
Okay. And I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. So the moratorium is for a year. And then the new commissioners and can do whatever they want to do. So Brenda. Oh, and I want to make sure that everybody understands. Ranger Power and Dolphin Power are in. Nothing that can be done to stop. Except if they stop themselves. This is only for new applications, not permits. So. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's statutory under the section 1109 of the state's planning and zoning regulatory code. Determines the rights of already accepted permit applications.
We can't hear you. You can talk on that.
I was explaining Mr. Shoemaker's point that the application of the moratorium is consistent with Indiana statute. That the company that has an valid accepted permit application is grandfathered and will be handled by the county under the law as it existed on the date the permit was accepted or their application was accepted. So this moratorium applies to it specifically applies to new permit applications. And that's section 1109 the state's zoning code.
Okay. Next.
We're ready for public comment.
Yep. Yep.
I guess just state your, if you would say your name.
I would have to defer to the end of the list. Possible.
Well, in 5 minutes.
And if you guys.
Okay, thank you, Dave.
My name is Mike Andrioli. I'm an attorney in Zionsville, Indiana. I've been retained by a group that we're going to be incorporated into a not-for-profit called Friends of Talk County. They have over 1,000 members on big clause commissioners today. And they're putting a clause on the new applications.
Yeah, the same over there. That's right.
My name is Mike Andrioli. I'm an attorney at 1393 West Elm Street in Zionsville, Indiana. I've been retained by the, Friends of South County, working for the Regional Not-for-Profit Corporation, have over 1,000 names on a petition now in opposition to, solar arrays, here in South County. I applaud the action statement by the commissioners today, putting the one-year moratorium on the new applications as they come forward. I would only say that we look forward to working with the planning boards, county council, as well as the county commissioners in providing information and documentation so that you can make informed judgments in the future as to when and how and whether you want future solar arrays to be located in your county. I was over the weekend, I received a document called Solar Powered Complete Farmland with Rich Soil Institute for Energy Research. This is just one of many articles that we've been receiving over a period of time and have people learn more and more about solar arrays and what they do or what they don't do with regard to helping counties. And as it relates to preservation of farmlands, I understand commissioners' concerns about the land rights and those types of things. All of those things have to be balanced with regard to what the best interests of your county might be in the future. So I applaud you taking this particular pause. We look forward to working with the commissioner, planning commission in the future, and as well as the county council. It is not insignificant that this was promoted through a public hearing process from your planning body and brought to you for action. Also, the county council took action on this as well, speaking loudly and clearly about the fact that taxpayer handouts are not just going to be signed off carte blanche with regard to solar farms and solar arrays. And they put a one-year moratorium on new applications as well. So we really think this is heading in the right direction. With appropriate education and information on both sides of the issue, your boards will be able to make an intelligent decision. So thank you for allowing me to speak today. And we look forward to continuing the discussions and information from the commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
A-hole.
Please state your name, please.
Oh.
We kind of all went over it, like, their lawyers just went over, and so that's great. I just have nothing to add. If we're gonna follow these statutes that we're supposed to be following for Indiana that Kim referred to, we need to follow all the statutes that Indiana requires us to follow. And there have been multiple statutes that have not been followed as we have came to this point with them applying. So therefore, I think that we're not done with Dalton and we're not done with Frankfurt. There are statutes that were not followed. And so why do we need to follow, like, we can't pick and choose what statutes we're following, is what I'm saying. So. More on that later.
I'm Clay Gilby, I live in Wabash Township. Last meeting, we were scolded by one of the commissioners for being a contractor. And we were told that this contractor was not writing ordinances. Twice, we got the guy to say it twice. 2 times, the man told us that he's not writing ordinances. He was billed our county $61,429 to write ordinances. So now he either, I don't know how you look at that, is somebody lying. So how do we rate that? And then I find out that they'll. I better look. But anyway, is this how we do business here? I mean, just lie, sit in the meetings and lie like we did last week, last month. Yes, I'm looking at you. What did you just say? Okay. Was it a lie? Were we lying to last meeting?
About what?
He told us he was not writing ordinances.
He does not write ordinances.
He billed the county $61,429 for it.
He
Among other
brings,
things, he billed the
he,
county $400 or $500 to go and talk to a person about solar. He bills $200 for sitting right here. It's right there. We have all of the ordinance, we pulled all of his paperwork.
Any of the solar is paid for by the solar companies.
Is this solar? Go to commissioner meeting of solar. No, it's not. He's billing us $200 an hour to sit right there. He's illegally here as a county surveyor. He cannot serve as a county ordinance administrator. He doesn't live in this county. Why are we paying him this much? I think you guys all need to look into that. $61,429. He made, to go into meetings last month, he made $12,800. Is that true? Going to meetings? Anyway, this has got to be looked at. There's a lot more that we're gonna find out too. Thank you.
Can you clear up who does write the ordinances, Tim? I'm confused.
Roger has been helping our plan commission for the past year and a half. He goes to other counties that he works with, pulls together their ordinances and gives us as the plan commission the opportunity to do what we want with those ordinances, which we've been working on for over a year. And if he was not doing it, we would have to hire some outside firm that would probably charge more than that because we do not have the ability to do that. End of story.
Thank you. I pulled the information together and I presented it to the plan commission. The plan commission, every member of the plan commission has reviewed and provided comments back. Some of them are extensive, some of them are minor. Like,
So do those comments get changed here? Because Sue Anderson has been saying that he doesn't like the easements for months.
absolutely.
And that's still.
Every,
hasn't been fixed.
every comment, there's a matrix with the comments and every comment has a draft, comes back to the plan commission. They are the final decision maker of whether they like it or not. If they don't like it, we go back and we change it again. But every time we get, Mr. White, Mr. Topano, the latest review, and he said, I don't want 90 pages of highway, ordinance. I want something easy, something that fits on the county. So we're dropping it back down to about 12 pages. That's what we feel comfortable with. So those are a process that we go through. And the APC tells us what they want, and we adjust to those. And finally, when they approve it, they'll recommend it to the commissioner, and the commissioners will review it, and make it either an ordinance or disregard it altogether.
So basically, no one's writing our ordinances. We're just copying them from other counties.
We're collecting information and see what applies to Fountain County, what best suits Fountain County. Sometimes it works and
So I think
sometimes it
we're
doesn't.
really far from what suits Fountain County. We've forgotten what Fountain County stands for, what we are, who we are, what we want, based on some of these ordinances that you have copied from other.
Well, that's why the APC exists. I mean, we're going through that review. We have multiple comments that we have to address. And hopefully the next version will provide them with those revisions. And they say, yes, you're closer, or no, we still have to work on it. So I have some changes to that.
I want to ask you a question. Did you not go cooperate with Ranger to bring some of those questions? Or
Carol, I have nothing to do with Ranger. They provide their submittal, their technical submittal, and I give them comments back and I say, go fix them.
so you two have not gotten together to write our ordinance?
I have nothing to do with Ranger. The answer is specifically no. The solar ordinance was in place way before I existed. But I am just following the rules that currently exist on paper. So if you change those rules, I'll follow the new rules.
What Carol's talking about is that solar ordinance that was adopted in 2021, which I believe maybe Kent helped write, but written in the notes, it says that Kent worked with the attorneys of Ranger. That's what Carol's talking about.
She's asking me if I work with them.
I said, it doesn't matter who did it, it happened, right? Ranger, our attorneys, helps significantly helps back in whatever, write our ordinance. They wrote the rules that they have to play by and every other solar company. They are protecting themselves, not the citizens of our county. The citizens of our county, the reason we have ordinances is to protect us. Therefore, that is what Carol was trying to say. Ultimately, whether you wrote it or were involved or whatever, it was written
It was written somewhere.
So it doesn't matter.
But I was.
Other than a
asked
Ranger
this
Tower.
Question, were you part of it? And I said, no, I did not collaborate with Ranger or anything, but yes, it was written, somebody put it together.
Thank you.
Rangers here today.
And I want to comment.
Okay.
So the booth that is here, and those that recognize that I can retain to try to help. The focus now needs to be on what has been done in the past, for sure, and we're looking at some of those things. And while Ms. is absolutely correct, we cannot go back and change. And we rejected application, once it's been approved, they are entitled to work with the rules that are in place, and that is state statutory law, and I've given the opinion about that to members of our group. If there's other fatal, errors that were committed when all of that was done, we're entitled to look into that. But barring that, they have an opportunity to move forward on that application. However, prospectively, and what we're doing now, we need to continue to be active in front of your advisory planning commission. They're the ones that are going to be set the course for where we're going to be going with our rules and regulations. And so I would encourage all of us at this point, they will be the body that will be considering any ordinance changes before it ever gets to the commission. So we have to remain active and engaged with the planning commission. In order to make sure that the rules that they established and the changes they made are changes that the citizens here in Fountain County want to see. And so our focus right now, in addition to looking at see what has happened in the past, is also find that now that the moratorium has been placed, it's up to us to try to affect change at the planning commission level so that they can bring forth to the commissioners changes that we hope will be in the best interest of the residents of Fountain County. So while I understand that the concerns about looking about what happened in the past, and I feel with regard to all of those things, our real focus has to be on affecting the change in the planning commission and making sure that they adopt the kind of ordinances and put those to the commissioners that we all want to see. So I just wanted to say that at least in terms of the council, our group kind of short circuit some of this because our focus now is on what ordinances that we can change. Also looking at some of the vulgarities that happened in the past, some of which we may not like, some of which we may not have any legal recourse. So at this particular point, I just wanted to make sure that you all know where our focus is and our group's focus is to try to affect changes with the planning.
Everybody will set up a committee, where we can funnel those questions and suggestions to the committee.
I think that would be a great idea, and we can do that independently of this meeting. So
Yes,
that
thank
it
you.
doesn't bother the commission.
Thank you, sir.
I'm not on the list, but Sarah Dunsey, I just have two things. Can we get a copy of where things are right now, like where the ordinance, is that available somewhere?
I can provide it to you, I can provide it to Pauline and she can share it with you.
Oh, perfect. Okay, that would be very helpful. I also I just wanted to address, it's a pretty age-old argument, the property rights. But the truth is that we all have property rights, and those rights start with the money that we earn with our hard work and our hands. And when that money gets used to subsidize public companies, those aren't property rights anymore. It would be property rights if a private company came to you and said, you have this beautiful 300 acres, and I personally want to build solar panels on it because it's a good investment, it's a good business model, which this is not. And then you could do with that, I mean, within the parameters of the ordinances or whatever, you could do that with your property. But when my taxpayers.
That's
my
exactly
tax
what's
money-
happening.
That, right,
There's private companies going to private individuals.
they aren't, they're being
No,
subsidized
they're
by the
not.
federal government.
We've had two different companies stand there.
On
multiple
Dolphin's front
times and
page, it
say,
says subsidized, it says federally subsidized.
that is a company in India. Look a little closer. The propaganda you throw out, do your homework. That is Dolphin Solar in India.
These solar companies wouldn't be building solar panels in Indiana where it doesn't make sense for solar to be built unless it was being subsidized by the Green New Deal.
The company,
And all the
the
federal money that,
companies currently setting up Ranger Power and GeneX, Dolphin Solar do not receive subsidy. The next level does. They do not. So make sure you do your homework.
it
they
wouldn't be
do not.
happening, it wouldn't be happening unless our taxpayer money was being used. That's what the Green New Deal is all about.
Okay.
This is the Green New Deal
Okay.
coming to literally to our backyard.
Okay,
So that, I mean, you gotta
Thank you.
look at it that way
Yeah.
too. It's not literally just someone saying this, I own this ground and this person wants to use it.
yeah.
So it's.
Commissioners have done a phenomenal job bringing our federal tax dollars back to us.
So you don't want your tax dollars coming back to Fountain County, you want them going somewhere else? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'd like my tax money back.
Well, that's what happens when these solar panels come.
That's,
Okay, we're done.
you're not entitled to my taxpayer.
Okay.
That,
All right.
Let's go. Shut it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Dave, did you still want the glasses when they put?
Yeah, I want a glass, I said my 5 minutes.
Okay, all right, well, real good, Derek Payne, Vignette Farms. Tim, I'd like to address you specifically. When we learned about being surrounded on all 4 sides last October, thankfully, Angie came to our door and nobody else told us. We talked on the phone. And a majority of the conversation was about what a good neighbor Dolphin Solar was. Right?
Mhm.
They'll build berms.
Mhm.
They'll do these walls that look like corn. They'll do more setbacks. They'll work with you. They'll make sure that there is no impact to your business or that they will help you in some way to make sure that you can continue operating. Well, I just want to set the record straight. Dolphin Solar is not a good neighbor. 7 months later, they have offered to do nothing for us. There are no further setbacks. There are no berms. They offer to plant trees 1 year earlier, if they're even available, which does nothing in front of 10 to 15 foot solar panels. What they have offered to do is for us to, in essence, turn our keys over to them and let them rent our property at their discretion. Events sponsored by Dolphin Solar, they'll pay us for those events, creating the optics of some illusionary partnership between Vignette Farms and Dolphin Solar. No, thank you. And if Wayne DeLong was here and I asked if I could have the keys to his house and rent it out to whomever I please, and I'll give him money for it, I bet his answer is no thanks.
Well, just looking for property value as, what is the term in the state trades?
Curable defect is the term used for
It's not
properties
good for
that are surrounded on all 4 sides. So I just want you to know, whatever story or line that they sold you when they came in, 7 months later, they are doing nothing for us. And yet we have people wanting to book weddings in 2026. And in good conscience, we cannot do that because who wants to get married in front of the public? So I just want to make sure that you understand where we stood with Dolphin Solar after the conversations that we had. They are not good neighbors, and I don't care what Wayne or anybody else from GeneX tries to tell you, or trying to, the illusion that they try to make of themselves, they don't care. They are in here to make a quick buck and to leave town and to leave everybody else in their way.
Dane.
Nameless, I have spoken for the name, because I have tried to remain. Could you say your name, please?
Chris May.
Okay.
When we had moved to this property to go to. I was a widow when I was 32, I had 2 little girls. My husband died from cancer. And the day before he died, I told my little girls that Dad was dead. I was gonna take him with me because I didn't know what to tell him. So my church friends and my husband's employer found out.
And they arranged to send us to the emergency settings. That was 25 years ago. I've had this vision in my heart to do this in single parent someday. Our business was a means to that end, to get to starting a nonprofit to send single parents, mom or dad, to a vacation, because there aren't programs like that. We have food and housing and health insurance, but we don't have programs for parents to make those memories. Our business, I'm so proud to say, it employs other small businesses, wedding planners, caterers, florists, landscapers. You name it. Our business is good for this town. It's not all about dollars. You're going to subject us, your decisions. You continue to say it's good for everyone, and it's not. Stop saying that. There are many of us that are going to be, what, I have 2 mortgages. I didn't inherit this land for the 5th generation. What am I going to do when I can't make payments on the house? Because no one will want to buy it. And I have lupus. I want to live amongst radiation. That hasn't been discussed, but there are plenty of studies out there showing 300 feet is not enough. It's not sufficient for human to dwell. Please stop saying it's good for everybody. It might be good for you if you sell insurance to them. It might be good for you because you're making money from the land. I'm all for business ownership, but I can lay my head down and I know I didn't make a decision to hurt somebody intentionally next door. And I can say that I would not do unto others as you would do to me. Thank you. Yes.
Just quickly, my name is Mark Boyd. I'll identify myself simply as a follower of Christ who has failed miserably time after time. As there's many in this room that can testify to that. But, you know, I've been a lifelong resident of this county. It's a great county to live in, and I'll say that largely that's due to the fact that there's a lot of followers of Christ that live in this county. And we enjoy the benefits of a strong community. We enjoy the benefits of a mostly peaceful community because of people's faithful beliefs in this county. We had a big to do about a med shed. We had a big to do about the jail. We're having a big to do about solar right now. And I'm not saying that the to do is not warranted. Okay, and I'm not saying that the commissioners have been completely above board. I'm not just gonna say that I'm in favor of solar. But in the end of all of this, we're gonna have some solar, whether we want it or we don't. But what we need to focus on, in my opinion, is that we retain our community. We retain the love that we have for one another, that we're able to live with one another, that we don't destroy relationships. These things will come and go. It may be that in the next election cycle, all the money that's helping the solar thing dries up and it goes away. It may happen. I've also learned in life that God's got a way of working things out that I can't, that you can, that none of us can. But ultimately, we are brothers and sisters in this community that have a bond. And if we let that bond get destroyed because of some material thing, some worldly deal, that we all lost. Okay, we all lost. So when you agree or disagree with what's before the board right now, remember, these are your friends and your neighbors. These are people that you've cared about for years, right? And if we're gonna let one little issue destroy that, and we can't figure out a way to work around it, then, you know, we're sunk. We're lost at that point. So I just need to say that I've heard so much, and there's been times when I've been all up in arms and wound up about things myself. And I've stood in front of this, not this particular board, but others. And yeah, I lost my cool. And I wish that I hadn't. Okay, so that's what I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Dane.
My name is Dave Maltzberg, Oakland Township. I want to segue onto what Mr. Lloyd shared, because there's a broader issue before I get to what I actually put on the agenda. 3 days ago, I took my 05 Dodge Dakota pickup truck, which I drive all the time. I took it to my local mechanic after hearing a clunk, 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 because I saw my little way to Hillsborough. When I got it to my mechanic, 4 of the 5 lug nuts had been removed. The last remaining lug nut was barely on there. So for all of you that don't know, on my farm, I do have cameras everywhere. So I already saw, got cameras everywhere. So to the individual, which when I replayed the videotape, I have seen you, I do know who you are, that came on my property and removed the lug nuts. Okay, this is an issue that, yes, it's very heated, it's got a lot of people riled up, but let's not, as Mr. Lloyd, let's not cross the line and go in the other direction. We are still a civil society in this county, all right? You're still civil. With that said, Kent, the code I'm going to cite today is 3674-602. The following procedures apply to your proposal to adopt an initial zoning ordinance or adopt and replace zoning ordinance after repealing an entire zoning or including amendments and maps for jurisdiction. While we have our advisory planning committee, and it was addressed at the last commissioners meeting, that might not be the best venue for us as we address zoning, because we have 2 municipalities in our county that approach the 2-mile barrier around them. And it was addressed that perhaps we need to go to a commission rather than a committee, and we said we need to look at that. When we're looking at the zoning, and everyone has said the committee just gives advice, and they do. I'm putting this out after reviewing the code. It says that a proposal may be initiated either by a plan commission or by a petition signed by property owners who own at least 50% of the land involved. Does anybody know off the top of their head how many land owners we have in Fountain County, both in our metropolitan areas and in our rural areas? Since we don't, there are 9,204 land owners. So for individuals that don't like the committee structure and the advice that they're giving, 367-4-602 gives the outline of how a petition has to be structured, worded, so that it can be presented to the commissioners. So if we don't wish to go in the organized government structure, the State House gives us another structure by which we can go under if we're going to make a legitimate good faith petition. And while we have given a petition saying we don't want solar and there's more than 1,000 signatures, there is another venue to which the state does give us if people are wishing to look at that. There's more than one option, and that is all I'm putting out here to say on that subject. Not that I'm pursuing it, I'm just putting this information out for information's sake. That would mean that if you were going to go by that, you would need 4,602 signatures of landowners in Fountain County to make such a petition to the commission.
Thank you. Okay. I am going to resign off of the plan commission, and Aaron has said that he'll step on. Do we need a motion? I'll make a motion to appoint Aaron to the plan commission.
I'll second. Favor.
Aye.
There you go.
Thank you, Aaron.
Anything else? You got anything?
Welcome, Aaron.
Yes. So, you might have a motion for the close meeting.
You got anything? I'll make a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Bill.